And one of those great member businesses is the Marsh McLennan Insurance Agency. And we have Jerry Alderman, who's the president of Marsh McLennan Agency of New England. Welcome, Jerry.
Great to be here.
Well, Jerry, in addition to your role as president at Marsh McLennan, you also serve as a director of the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce, and we appreciate your commitment and time in that regard. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to share with our viewers a little bit about Marsh McLennan and the history in the community.
Sure. So we were lucky enough to make an acquisition of a very well-established firm called the Protector Group a little over 3 years ago. Marsh McLennan Agency is a national firm, but very embedded in the local community, and we'll continue to do that here in Worcester. So we're committed to not only philanthropic organizations and helping in that regard, but happy to obviously be involved in the chamber and sponsoring a number of great events like yesterday's CEO luncheon. And we employ close to 100 people here in Worcester, and very committed to continuing to do that over the foreseeable future and looking to grow the franchise, and very excited to be at Front Street with the Mercantile Exchange going on and all the development there.
Yeah, well, you know, our chamber mantra, as you all know, is recruit, retain, incubate. Those are the words that we try to use as our operational framework. And what's exciting when we talk about retain, and you mentioned City Square, Mercantile Center, is a number of new companies and businesses coming and investing and growing there. But recently, you know, on the retention side, your agency made a commitment in terms of the property there.
Yeah, we did, and we have a lease that goes out 7 years, and we're looking to extend that beyond that, and looking to do some renovation there as well and stay in that space. So we're very excited about that going forward. And you talk about recruit. I mean, we're talking to all the colleges and internships and trying to get stimulation with our firm, with all the higher education here in Worcester as well.
Well, you've reinforced something I've talked about on the show and talk about regularly at the chamber, which is that workforce pipeline. I say to people, regardless of the size of the company or the sector, the single biggest issues that we hear from our members is workforce pipeline and talent, and that's critical in your industry as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a very mature business, and so recruiting young talent, rising stars, as we affectionately call them, into the business is key. You know, we're in a sector of the market that doesn't always get a lot of press around being the latest, most innovative business in the world, but we're finding there's a lot of really innovative ways to attract new talent. We're doing job fairs. We've got, you know, some of our younger people out there talking in the community and talking at these job fairs at the universities and colleges, and I think that's going to stimulate a lot of at least thought. And you know, we're in a world that's going far more towards data analytics. So, you know, the WPIs of the world and the Holy Crosses of the world are really educating their kids very well in those financial service sectors.
And that's something, you know, this technology, and you shared with me when you came over and took leadership of Marsh, is how technology, and that's helping you do your business in terms of insurance, predictive models, things like that. It's kind of a new game for a mature industry. Yeah,
I mean, we are lucky enough to have a lot of data inside of Marsh. We're a big company, and we think it's helpful to be able to look at the total cost of risk for our customers. So we're not out broking just for price, although that's important to every customer, protecting their balance sheet adequately, utilizing data and explaining what that data means to our clients and prospects is really, really important in this day and age.
And when you talk about your clients and customers, you know, for our viewers, those would be other businesses, individuals?
So we're in a number of different areas. So we're in the property casualty space, so ensuring the assets of corporations. We're in the health and benefits space, so ensuring the personal and medical and dental aspects of coverage for individuals. And we're also in the personal line space, so ensuring local people's assets, homes, cars, bikes, etc. So we really cover the gamut of all those coverages through our organization.
Right, right. And you mentioned, you know, a large company, one of the things nationally, but also international.
Correct. So, you know, our mantra is world-class local touch, and we mean that. So, you know, we have companies worldwide. But we also have our company, specifically Marsh McLennan Agencies, dedicated to, you know, the agency local touch marketplace. The benefit to our clients is we can draw on intellectual property and data analytics from not only the US, from around the world. So colleges and schools that are sending their students abroad we can give them a lot of information about where they're going and some of the things that they need to pay attention to protect them properly and be able to get them out should there be a crisis.
And you mentioned, world-class local touch. I mean, I think it's important for business owners, individuals, organizations to kind of take a step back. Oftentimes you think, okay, your world is just within a 25-mile radius of your headquarters, your office. But when you look at, in manufacturing, it would be supply chain issues, salespeople visiting nationally, internationally, as you talk about, you're moving your product to different places. You've got to kind of think beyond just a regional scope when you're looking to protect your balance sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. And the analysis we do goes outside of the normal scope, I think, of what some of our competitors are looking at to really supply chain you mentioned, which is a terrific example of what can happen to a product if there's an event that happens somewhere along that supply chain and stops that product getting to you and then getting to market. Obviously causes economic damage to that firm in a significant way. So, the world's changing very fast, and there are unfortunately a lot of things going on that can disrupt business and trade. And we look at all those things for our customers to make sure that they're adequately covered in all those areas.
Right. Critically important. And you mentioned when we were just kicking off a few minutes ago, yesterday, you want to thank you. Marsh McLennan supports the Chamber of Commerce's President's Roundtable, President's Council, if you will. We bring in some different speakers. We had Speaker DeLeo last year, the Senate President, Stan Rosenberg, and then yesterday we had a local author, Holy Cross grad, who's been very successful on Wall Street, who wrote a book talking about the financial crisis, the Great Recession that happened, and you helped facilitate that discussion.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. I thought Larry was fantastic yesterday and gave a very good picture, independent picture of kind of what happened during that crisis. And I think everybody's aware of it, but with movies like The Big Short and what Larry's book has put together, I think it gives people a much better in-depth view as to what really happened there. It's pretty complex, and it's nice to have the sort of 101 abridged version that Larry put together.
No, he did a nice job to explain it to people. You're in the financial world, so you probably have a much better understanding, but really to kind of get down to it. And I think people appreciate it. And I want to, again, just thank you, because when we look at the Central Mass economy and the four major sectors that drive it, we've got healthcare, biggest employer. We've got higher ed, financial services is third, and then manufacturing. And so, those decisions reverberated to locally financial institutions, the insurance world, to banks, and it was a great discussion. Yeah,
and it's interesting when you mentioned those what we call verticals in our business. So, construction's probably our biggest, higher ed second, manufacturing, and financial institutions. Those are probably the biggest areas that we specialize in. So it's a great fit with what's going on here in the marketplace in Central Massachusetts.